What's up, AP Bio? This is AP Bio, 5th hour, 2022, explaining to you photosynthesis and cell respiration. Mr. Carrier, if you don't use this in your class next year, I'll be very sad. Please use it. This is my best friend, Nilu Farr, also known as AP Bio Awesome Person. She's going to explain the inputs and outputs of photosynthesis to you.
So you need 6 CO2, 6 H2O, and light energy, and then you get glucose and 6 O2. Oh no, God.
I'm keeping this clip.
This is the 2-year-old version, though.
All right, what's up, everyone? This is my friend, Max. He's a genetically engineered mastermind, and he's going to explain the light dependent reaction right now.
All right. So first, you need light. You need light to strike a leaf, and then in the leaf, there's this thing called the chloroplast. In a chloroplast, there's this thing called photosystem 2. Now, photosystem 2, when light strikes it, energy is passed inward into the pigment in photosystem 2, and the pigment especially absorbs this certain energy of light, and it boosts electrons to a high energy level. This high energy level electron is passed to an acceptor molecule and then replaced with an electron from water. This splits water into O2 and then H+, and this O2 is the O2 we breathe. The H+ is used for ATP synthesis. Okay. The high energy electron that came from the H2O splitting, it creates a gradient. So on the inside of the chloroplast, there's a high concentration of H+, and on the outside there's a low concentration of H+, because you split the water inside the chloroplast, right? So then there's more H+ on the inside than the outside, and so just as a natural process, H+ moves through ATP synthase, which is a protein, and then that's how ATP is produced.
That's beautiful, Max. Miss Carrier, no. Miss Carrier. Miss Carrier, can you please explain the Calvin cycle to me?
Of course, stage champ.
Yeah, thanks.
There are 3 steps in the Calvin cycle. First is carbon fixation, and then there's reduction, and then there's regeneration. So first, you take 3 carbon dioxide molecules, and you bring them in with 3 rhubarb, which provides 15 carbon, and then together those make 6,3-PGA, which means you have 18 carbons in total, and then that turns into 1 G3P, which is used to make glucose, and you need 2 G3P to make this molecule of glucose, and then 5 of those G3Ps are recycled to use as rhubarb again.
Thanks, Mr. Carrier. You're awesome. I love this class.
I love you.
Oh, thank you.
The inputs of cell respiration are glucose and 6 oxygens. The outputs are 6 carbon dioxide and 6 water.
Is this guy a genius? Go away, Nilu. Just leave. So guys, in cell respiration, there are 4 stages. First stage is glycolysis, then you have the intermediate, then you have the Krebs, then finally you have the ETC. All right, guys, we're in the cytoplasm. Here's where glucose is going to be oxidized in glycolysis. Glucose is oxidized to create 2-pyruvate. The H pluses and the electrons are picked up by NADP+, which becomes NADPH once it picks it up. Now, these electrons are important, and we'll get to them in the ETC. Now, to do glycolysis, you have to invest 2 ATP. And at the end, you will have made 4 ATP, which means you'll have a net gain of 2 ATP. To conclude, you have a molecule of glucose becoming 2-pyruvate, and then you have 2 ATP, and that is a net gain. And NADH is made. I meant NADH, not NADPH. Mr. Carrier, don't kill me. Sorry. And now we're talking about the intermediate reaction. The intermediate reaction occurs in the mitochondrial matrix. You're probably like, wait, we were just in the cytoplasm. How'd that happen? Well, the pyruvate is taken in through active transport. This requires ATP. Okay, now that we're inside the mitochondria, the 2 pyruvate are going to be oxidized to form acetyl-CoA, 2-acetyl-CoA. After this, CO2 is released, as you know from the equation, and NADH picks up all of the electrons from when pyruvate was oxidized. Remember that NADH has electrons because that'll become very important in the electron transport chain. Okay, now for Krebs, we are in the inner mitochondrial membrane. And this C2, which is the acetyl-CoA, is made into C6, which is citric acid. And then during this whole process, you're gonna keep taking off a carbon over and over again by oxidizing C6 until it gets back to C2. This produces a lot of electrons that NADH and FADH2 take, and then they all go to the ETC. All right, boys and girls, we are at the end of cell respiration in the ETC. This occurs in the mitochondrial membrane. Here, NADH and FADH2 drop off their H pluses and their electrons that they got during all of the other stages. Now, these electrons and H pluses are used as energy by proteins to pump H pluses across. This creates a gradient. So when H pluses flow down the gradient through ATP synthase, a very awesome enzyme, you create a lot of ATP, around 32 to 34 ATP. Now you're probably like, what about the H pluses and the electrons? Listen, this is so important. Oxygen is the final electron acceptor. At the end of the electron chain that it's been on, oxygen is there to accept it and create H2O water, a very, very important thing. This is how you get H2O in the equation. And the CO2 is already been released in the intermediate cycle. Nice. There are also 2 types of cell respiration, anaerobic and aerobic. Here are some examples. Enjoy. Aerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration. Excuse my hair. It's really weird today. And say hi to my friend. This guy is awesome. Okay. Aerobic respiration is when your body uses oxygen as the last electron acceptor. Very important. Know this on the AP exam and miscarriage test. This is a question. Don't tell miscarriage. Fermentation, or also known as anaerobic respiration, is when you don't have oxygen and you need energy fast. So pyruvate is used as the last electron acceptor, and here NADH is restored, and you can keep doing it over and over again, but it is a very inefficient process. Know this, very important for the exam and miscarriage tests. Don't tell me, guys. So to finish this video, be nice to trees. They produce oxygen, and we need oxygen. I hope you know that, or else leave AP Bio like immediately to just walk out. Also, plant trees and hug trees like I have in the next clip. This is my friend, Sierra. She's gonna smile for you guys.
Hi.
Yay.
Yay.